They're like my babies, definitely. And they're a mixed bag. There's crack pots and there's, pretty ones and there's rustic ones, and the kiln itself, it's like a big womb really, isn't it? And they come out for the first time and you see them, and it's a bit like giving birth in a way. I'm lucky enough to have lived and raised on the Katherine River. Dad built the house here, which was going to be the shed, and like you hear many stories, the shed became the house. Well, we'd broken the apron strings. I went to boarding school for 5 years. So when I came back and started potting here, Mum was really happy. And I'd make pots at this end, facing this way, and Mum was up the other end looking out that way. We did that for about 25 years of my potting life. And she said, "You're going to have an awful lot of pots to fire when I'm dead." I probably didn't fire any for a year or two. It was still too raw. And losing Dad too was a pretty nasty time. Every firing I put a few of Mum's through too. I mean, they look nothing when the glaze doesn't vitrify. I use a lot of the local clays from around here, dig them up. I dig that out, refine it down so that I'm left with the silkiest, smoothest clay particles that sit on top. I use various seaweeds that I collect on my travels. It's exciting, the alchemy's involved, turning something like common mud into something precious. So this form's one that I do a little bit of. It's a classical bottle form. It's not as easy as it looks, trying to capture that grace and that beginning and end. It's feeling. You've got to feel the clay, the thickness of the wall. Too thick and it's heavy, too thin and it will collapse as I'm bringing the bottle back into that thin neck, thin long neck. All of those things that you've got to consider when throwing more complex forms. I've never potted for the money. That's been a biggie. I've always potted for the fun of it. You don't have to sort of grow up, you're playing with clay. A potter once said, if you get one good pot out of a kiln, you're doing well, one that you really think is good. I like that philosophy. You can do the same thing hundreds of times and it'll turn out differently every time. I think you're an artist if you're an artist, whatever you do.